we've detected an anomaly in the Azure Nebula. Because of the Tholian activity in that area, we're concerned that they may be attempting to open a rift to the mirror universe. I need a ship to go out there and check it out.
Do you have a question? My name is Franklin Drake. I was born on a little colony world on the edge of Cardassian space. After the Federation fell to the Klingons, a lot of people moved out of the war zones to try to make new lives. It worked. For a while. When the Bajorans discovered that wormhole and the Dominion invaded, no world, no matter how remote, was safe. I signed on to help fight the Dominion, for all the good that did. The Dominion swallowed the Bajorans whole and then joined up with the Breen and the Cardassians to destroy the Klingons and the Romulans. After that, it was just a matter of carving up the Alpha Quadrant. The Tholians got this piece of space in exchange for signing a non-aggression pact with the Dominion. It wasn't hard to see that the only way to survive was to sign on. Now I'm like you. I work for the Tholians, and in exchange I get a cot, a couple of replicated meals, and the chance to live for one more day. With a little luck, I'll get through tomorrow, too. Do you need anything else? Thank you, Captain. The Tholian Assembly appreciates your loyalty. So many ship captains threw away their lives needlessly in the days after they annexed this area of space. It'll take a few hours to offload your cargo. Feel free to grab a hot meal in the commissary. I know that comforts can be hard to come by in this sector. I recommend the plomeek soup. It almost tastes like something. Do you need anything else?
Hello. For all I know, you could be informing on me to the Tholians. But if I don't answer, you'll probably tell them I'm hiding something. Fine. My name is Tatan. I was born on Romulus. After the war, I signed on to a freighter crew working the Bolian run. My captain got in trouble with the Tholians, and I ended up here. I'm a true and loyal servant of the Tholians, and I don't want any trouble. Now go away and leave me alone. I have work to do.
It's too bright in here. Why? Why would you care about me? No one cares about me. I don't even care anymore. Go away. Go away.
Have we met? You're just asking to be polite, aren't you? I find idle chatter so tedious these days. Still, it's a way to pass the time. My name is Rugen Skyle. I used to be a member of the Cardassian government until I had a conflict with a rival faction. Politics on my world can be quite cutthroat. Now I'm here. It's better than execution, but only just. The food here is terrible, and the company is worse. Another question?
Yes. My name is Tanae, and for many years I served in Starfleet. After the war was lost, I joined a resistance movement attempting to liberate the core worlds. We failed. We were able to keep the Klingons at bay, but not the Dominion and their allies. After the Breen destroyed Earth and the Dominion occupied Betazed, continued resistance was illogical. Against all reason, we continued our fight as our resistance cells fell. one by one. You might say I was one of the fortunate ones. I survived. I would not agree. Do you require...
How can I assist you? I'm Valkel Sean, captain of the Belfast. I run freight for the Tholians. Basic supplies, mostly. But once in a while, they need me to pick up dilithium from the mines on Remus. We're in dock here for a few days getting some repairs done. Cut too close to the Konos blast zone on my last trip back and ran into some raiders. They won't trouble anyone again. But they fused half my power conduits and fried the deflector before I managed to take them out. If there's anything...
I will be free. My name is Obasek. Once my people served the Romulans. Now we have new masters. I will serve her now, because to refuse would be my death. But when the time is right, we'll rise up against our oppressors and destroy them. If you would be free, watch for an opportunity. The Tholians will show their weakness soon enough. Do not waste my time.
I haven't seen you around here before, Captain. Got a minute to talk? Call me Castillo. Not a lot to tell, I guess. I'm Lieutenant J.G. Richard Castillo, Helm Officer of the USS Enterprise C, an unwilling time traveler. I'm normally the Helm Officer, but I'm Senior Officer now that Captain Garrett and the rest of the senior staff are gone. I've got to do what the Captain would want. Get us back to where we belong, and finish what we set out to do. I know. I asked around about you, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you this, but I need your help. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Not in this timeline, I mean. My ship, my crew, we were supposed to do something important. We went through an anomaly, moved through time, and everything changed. We tried to go back. I guess the battle with the Klingons disrupted the anomaly. Instead of getting back where we belong, we ended up here with the Tholians running everything. I'd never even seen a Tholian before. You have to help us set things right. You have to help us get back to our ship. Me and my crew. There are a little over 100 of us here, scattered throughout the work camp. We're about 65 years ahead of where we should be, according to my math. We were fighting the Romulans. This was back in 2344. And the weapons discharges caused a temporal rift. We passed through, and because we weren't at Narendra to do what we were supposed to do, the timeline changed. We ended up in a timeline where the Federation and the Klingon Empire were at war, and the Federation was losing, badly. We tried to go back to set things right, but then the Klingons found us and the Enterprise D, and there's someone here with us from that timeline. Her name is Tasha. I'll take you to her. Maybe she can help explain this. Got a minute to talk? Call me Castillo. Not a lot.
We need your help. My name is Tasha Yar. I was Chief Tactical Officer of the USS Enterprise D. In my timeline, we were fighting a war against the Klingons, and I was proud to do my part to protect the Federation. What I learned, though, in the correct timeline, history as it should be, I died a meaningless death. I accepted the risks when I put on the uniform, and I don't regret what happened. But if I'm going to die, I want it to mean something. That's why I chose to go back with the Enterprise C. I know this is a lot to accept, but you have to trust us. I'm from Starfleet, and if I'm right, that's a name that should ring bells with you as well. In an alternate timeline from this one, the correct one, Starfleet is still alive and well, and you're a Starfleet officer too. When the Enterprise C moved ahead in time, it created an alternate timeline, one in which I was alive but shouldn't have been. I left with the Enterprise to set things right. We thought we were returning to the Narendra system in 2344 to defend the Klingon colony there from a Romulan attack. We ended up in this nebula in 2409. The Tholians caught us before we could try again, and you can guess the rest. We're going to try to restore the timeline, but to do so, we need the Enterprise C. It's still in the hangar here, and as soon as we get back to her, we'll find the temporal rift and get back to where and when we're supposed to be. To do that, we need your help. Franklin Drake is already helping us. He managed to get an access key used to operate the systems in the hangar control room. We need you to get the code from Drake and use it to open the doors to the hangar control room. I'd go myself, but we've already been here a week. The Tholians know we're trying to get back to the ship. They're watching us. But you're new. They won't suspect you're involved. That's the idea, at least. Of course, it's not as simple as getting the code and opening the door. The Tholians have guards on all critical areas. You'll need to slip past the guards and get into the maintenance tunnels. From there, it's a winding maze to the hangar control room, which can only be unlocked from the inside. Once you get in, you'll be able to open the doors. We'll be waiting there to help you free the Enterprise. Here, take this communicator. It's on a scrambled frequency the Tholians don't monitor, and it'll allow me to contact you while you're on the move. Maybe... We need your help.
What do you want? My name is Bavat. Before the Tholians conquered the Empire, I was the leader of a great house. I sat on the High Council and spoke for the Empire on more than a dozen worlds. None of that matters now. The past is nothing to a slave. I will die here in service to the Tholians, just like you will. Ask your questions!
You looking for something? I'm Farrick. Wheeling and dealing is my game. At least it was, until the webheads put a stop to any trade that doesn't benefit them. Still, I know how to get a few things. You looking for bonus replicator rations? Maybe a bottle of authentic pre-war Romulan ale? If you've got something to trade, I've got what you need. Hey, I got things...
This place isn't what it's supposed to be. I can't see it clearly. I just know that something is wrong. That woman over there, does she have a daughter? Someone named Sela. I know that's important, but there are a lot of other things. I'm sorry, it's difficult to put into words. What I can tell you is that if someone asks for your help, give it. That will set things right. Something's not right here. My name is Neelan. I'm an Alorian. Some people would call me a wanderer. I go from place to place, listening to the universe, to the people, and then I look at you and this place and I can't explain it, but it's wrong, all of it. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Something's not right.
Do you have a question? Take it. Here's a map too. You'll need it in the tunnels. I still don't know why I'm risking my neck for this. Don't expect any more help from me. The Federation fell before I was born. I shouldn't even care, but there's something about Yar and Castillo. I know they believe they can make a difference. It makes me want to believe. Do you need anything else?
It's too bright in here.
I will be free. Your plan is foolhardy. If you want to die, do it without my assistance.
Got a minute to talk?
We need your help.
What do you... I may be a Klingon, but I am not a fool. Kahless once talked about a man who stepped outside to battle a storm. Kahless went to this man and asked him why he didn't seek shelter. And the man replied that he would stand before the wind and make it respect him. Kahless honored his choice and went inside. The man died. The wind does not respect a fool, and neither do the Tholians. I will not commit suicide, so you can make a pointless attempt at escape.
You looking for something? Do I look like a soldier? I wouldn't take on those Tholian goons, not even if you paid me all the gold plus latinum in the sector.
This place isn't...
I will be free. Your plan is foolhardy.
Have we met? And what do I get for risking my life for you? Nothing, that's what. Not even a drop of Kanar. Find someone else to do your bidding, Captain. I don't take orders from anyone. Have we met? And what do I...
You're...
How can I assist you? I don't remember the Federation, or Starfleet. The war was almost over before I was born. This is the only life I know. One of servitude, deprivation, loss. I want something better. That freedom my parents and grandparents told me about. I want the Federation back. I'll help. Just tell me what you need. Hey! Get down here, you big salt shaker! This food isn't fit for dogs!
Well done. Those maintenance tunnels are a maze. They make navigating the Jeffries tubes on the Enterprise look easy. I recommend using the map to keep track of where you've been, what doors lead away from which room, and where you are currently. The Tholians are very precise. They want to learn everything they can about the ships they're capturing. All rooms connected to the hangars have their atmospheres exchanged to prevent damage to the systems they're dismantling for study. Also, sometimes they force humanoids to do the work for them, so they'll pump in something we can handle. Looks like the Enterprise C's transporters are still online. We can beam the rest of the crew onto the ship before we leave.
We need to work together. What do you want me to do? I was the helm officer on the Enterprise before everything went to hell, but I'm really handy with heavy machinery, like those clamps holding the ship. I know I can take care of those and get us free. If you need me to do something else, maybe I could work on that web shield. It will need to come down before we can fly out of here. Or the ship's power. I know every inch of the old girl. If I could figure out the Tholian interface, I might be able to connect to the ship and restore the power remotely. We need to work together. What do you...
I am here to assist. My first posting in Starfleet was to an ambassador-class vessel. I am familiar with most of the ship's systems, but I spent several months working on a refit of the ship's computer. I am confident I can restore the ship's power levels quickly. Also, I do have some experience with Tholian technology from my time in the Resistance. If you prefer, I could attempt to deactivate the web shield or tractor beams. I am here to assist.
We don't have much time. I know a few tricks to take that tractor beam system offline. I'm also fairly confident that with enough time, I can release the docking clamps holding the ship or take down the Tholian's web shielding. We don't have much time. Overriding security protocols. I'm changing the targeting subroutines for the tractor beams. Tractor beam is disabled. I thought you deactivated all the security protocols. Do you want me to do that for you? I know a few things about force fields. Having trouble? You do know that we could have Tholians swarming us any minute, right? I thought we took care of everything. Starfleet Protocol 547C clearly states.
I don't think the Tholians have heard of Protocol 547C.
Captain, I'm detecting Tholian mesh weavers headed for our position.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Tholian orb weavers on an intercept course. Tholian recluses moving into weapons range, sir. I recommend evasive action. Tholian tarantula on sensors. A ship just appeared out of nowhere and destroyed that Tholian tarantula. I've never seen a ship of that configuration before. Or one with that kind of...
We took a hit. Phasers are partially... Looks like you could use some help.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
The way is clear, and the temporal anomaly has been stabilized. Head for the anomaly, Enterprise. It will put you back where you need to be. That's my job. The details aren't important. Restoring the timeline is. Get moving. The Thol... I'm sure you've realized by now, you're part of a very different timeline. This one is an aberration that we are here to correct. It would be irresponsible of us to let you go back in time with the Enterprise C, and compromise that timeline as well. We'll send you back to your time. There are still some very important events in the 25th century that you need to be a part of. As soon as the Enterprise C returns to its correct place in history, the timeline should right itself.
There wasn't anything there. That's strange.
We've detected significant temporal activity in the Glorndon core system, circa the 23rd century. I'm going to investigate it, and I'd like you to join me. We believe the Nakul are involved, along with a planet killer. A doomsday machine. If so, we need to stop them at all costs. I'll provide your ship with holographic camouflage. It's best if the Romulans of that time don't see a vessel from the future. Thank you. I've also transmitted files that will establish your cover identity as Tal Shiar security operatives. You'll need to put this data into their local network before entering the research facility, however. There's a comms satellite nearby that you can use to accomplish this.
All Shi'ar vessel, cease all sensor scans of the device immediately. You do not have the proper clearance.
IRW Moreri. This is Galorndon Station Command. Please transmit your security credentials. Data received, Moreri. Welcome to Galorndon Core. Sending you transporter coordinates now. I've taken the liberty of informing Commander Chulak. I'm sure the Director will want to greet you personally.
Doomsday machines seek and destroy planetary bodies, consuming what remains as fuel. And yet, there's one in orbit just sitting there, peacefully. It looks like reports of the Nakul gaining the ability to control the machines are accurate. We need to find out how, and fast. Your holographic disguises should conceal you while you search the facility. Good hunting.
This area is restricted. You need to leave. Now. My orders are clear, Romulan. No one is to pass this point until the meeting is concluded. No one, not even Chulak himself.
Subcommander, it is my duty to inform you that this area is restricted. Sir. Yes, Subcommander. At once. Forgive my rudeness. Access granted. Let me get the door for you. Subcommander, I've been instructed to grant you access to this facility. Of course, Sub-Commander. My family is a friend to the Tal Shar and loyal to the Empire. Access for you and your team is granted.
The Senate has dispatched an agent from an alien race known as the Nakul. Repugnant creature. But she's of a keen mind and cunning I can appreciate as a Romulan officer. If only her visage wasn't so hideous. She boasts she has a weapon that will turn the tide in favor of Romulus. An old song, to be sure, but she sings it sweetly. Krog's mysterious backer, the so-called envoy, has made an impression in the right circles of power. We'll see if he can deliver, however. Data on his miracle weapon is due to arrive soon. Those scars, truly hideous. Krog is practically radiant in comparison. My researchers have analyzed the Nakul weapon data. It matches a report we have on an incident in Federation space involving a doomsday machine. If accurate, this weapon destroyed USS Constellation and nearly rid the cosmos of USS Enterprise. It seems Enterprise's thrice-stamped captain exposed a vulnerability in the weapon. I shall have to address this with Krog upon her return. Krog arrives tomorrow, along with her reportedly improved weapon. I believe the envoy will be making an appearance as well. It seems it's the season for guests. If my agents are to be believed, we'll be getting a visit from the Tal Shiar very soon. I'm already suffering the witless bureaucrat from the Senate. To endure the serpents of the secret police is nearly too much to ask of a true Romulan.
Sub-Commander, if this doomsday weapon lives up to the Nakul woman's boasts, it will ensure the Empire's dominance over the entire quadrant. The Federation and the Klingons will have no choice but to bend the knee to Romulus, or face annihilation. No. Trust is a hard-earned currency. However, I respect their weapon.
Greetings, Sub-Commander. I knew it was only a matter of time before the fabled Tal Shiar came to call. The Nakul have brought a glorious weapon to your empire. You won't be disappointed. I can assure you. This one shall, Sub-Commander. Beyond measure.
Your attention, please. Let's begin, shall we? We thank Specialist Krog of Nakul for joining us. We have concerns about the dangers involved with this weapon.
You have nothing to fear from the machine, my friend.
Would you be so confident if you were here, Envoy?
Utterly so, Commander. Soon the Doomsday Machine will bring our foes to their knees.
Bold words, Envoy. We shall see, won't we?
It would seem a demonstration is in order. See to it, Krog.
As you wish. Shall we, Commander?
Very well. Show me what this beast of yours can do.
It will be my pleasure.
Enjoy the show, interloper. They are using holographic disguises. Guards, deal with them.
We're trying to get our computer to interface with that Nakul control console, but their tech is quite advanced. I need at least 5 minutes to integrate it.
Your uninvited guests will make a fine target for the weapon, Chulok.
Target's shields have failed.
The Doomsday Machine is about to open fire!
Target's shields have failed.
Nice dodge. Keep it up.
Target's shields have failed.
It's targeting us again. We need to move.
Left shields failing.
That was close. Almost got this console working.
Target's shields have failed.
The console is ready. Get close to the Doomsday Machine so we can transmit the control codes.
Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Activating shutdown protocol. Now. Something is wrong. It's not working. It's firing indiscriminately.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Enough! It's only a matter of time before that thing destroys the planet! All ships, destroy the Doomsday Weapon and the cool ships! Now!
The fabled Romulan treachery at last. You'll regret this, Chulok.
Romulan attack wing. Fire torpedoes into that thing's maw. All ships, protect the planet from that machine at all costs.
Target's shields have failed. Target's shields have failed.
Yes, then a cool ship is about to be food for the beast. That should end it. Wait! What's happening? The machine. It's on a collision course. No! No! I don't know who you are, and I don't care. You helped us with the traitorous Nakul, and that earns you a reprieve. For now. Leave while you still can. I won't ask twice.
The Nakul ship must have detonated within the Doomsday Machine. Disrupted it somehow. This must feel like a Pyrrhic victory at best, too. An occupational hazard, I'm afraid. I'll be fine. What matters is that Chulak and his allies would have killed billions had their plan succeeded. Instead, his life is a cautionary tale, forever disgraced by his loss here today. We stopped them this time, at great cost. Clearly, the Nakul and their leader, this envoy, are willing to do anything to win this war, even commit genocide. It's unfortunate that Chulak didn't stand up to the Nakul sooner. It might have prevented this tragedy today. There's been a temporal disturbance in the 27th century. It's happening in the Lurs system. Vorgon mercenaries are targeting a scientist named Cal Dano. This is big. We must keep Dano and his research out of Vorgon hands. I've transmitted the temporal coordinates. Meet me there. Time shift complete. Permission to come aboard? Caldano is stationed here, at a Daystrom Institute research facility. The Vorgans may already have what they came for. Bring us into scanning range. We need to find out. It's highly likely the Vorgons are at Caldano's research facility trying to get what they want. I'll take point on this one. I need you to keep an eye on that Vorgon ship and its crew. They might send reinforcements, or open fire from orbit. The Vorgons have cornered Caldano. Engaging them now.
Ship is under attack. Hull integrity below 75%.
The Vorgons have beamed out after our disagreement.
This is Baratas, commander of the VSV Aberel. You are interfering with the private matter that does not concern you. Identify yourself.
My name is Azure. Baratas and I pursue a researcher named Caldano, and have been for some time. He has created a weapon of mass destruction, a very valuable weapon. The Tox Uthat and its maker will be ours. Our reinforcements are en route. You should not have interfered.
Caldano's safe. For now. We're ready to beam up.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Since these Vorgons aren't of this era, destroying them won't disrupt the timeline. Caldano must fulfill his personal destiny. I've given him my time ship to do so. Please clear it for launch. Trust me on this. I can always get another ship. More Vorgons. We need to cover Cal's escape. Almost there. Just keep the Vorgons busy a bit. He made it. The time ship is safely on its way.
This is a temporary setback. Your interference will not keep us from Caldano or the Tox Uthat. History can be changed, as you will see.
Warning. 1 minute. Ship is under attack. 30 seconds. 10 seconds. 9 seconds. 8 seconds. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 seconds.
The Arborel just engaged a temporal drive. They're gone. The Vorgons know a lot about the Toxutot and its history. They'll want to reach a pivotal point in its timeline. There! I have them. Reading a new temporal ripple. In the year 2152. Unfortunately, I can't ask Captain Archer to get involved in this one, so if you don't mind. Temporal course laid in. Ready when you are. The time ship, or what's left of it, is currently on Enterprise, along with the body of Caldano. The Vorgons don't know this, however. We can't let them endanger Enterprise or her crew. Also, we should stay out of Enterprise's sensor range. They haven't detected us yet, but let's not tempt fate.
History shows you...
We believe it is time to break...
History shows you have a habit of meddling in the affairs of others.
We believe it is time to break you of that habit.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Hull integrity below 75%.
Unidentified vessels. You are temporal anomalies. You do not belong. Your chronicon signature matches a vessel we seek. We will know why. Submit to investigation, or you will be purged.
Tholian Captain, We are not aligned with these interlopers. In fact, we would be happy to ally with you against them.
The Lion's proposal refused. You are anomalous. They are anomalous. You will all be purged.
Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed. Hull integrity.
The Arborel's performing a temporal shunt. They're escaping!
Target's shields have failed.
There's a Vulcan rescue team on its way to aid the Dakir. We should leave before they arrive and ask questions we're not prepared to answer. Scanning for the Vorgons now. Ah, of course. They're heading to Risa. You may recall burying the Toxutot there with Cal. Ah, about that. Truth is, Captain Picard realized the scientific value of the Toxutot and faked its destruction to fool the Vorgons. It worked. Until now. I'm reading a new disturbance. Sol System 2375. They know where it is. Course locked in. Are you ready for transit? The Toxutot is here, in a high-security vault under Starfleet command. I assume the Vorgons are taking advantage of the chaos and the heavy damage to infiltrate the security facility and steal the Toxutot. It held up for quite some time. I suspect our Vorgon friends are getting some help. History shows them giving up the hunt after their failure at Risa. Let's take advantage of this lull in the battle to beam down, while we still can. Are you ready to beam down to Starfleet HQ?
Flanking damage detected. Personal shield losing power.
In orbit, the Federation fleet has engaged the Breen invasion force. Reports from San Francisco estimate casualties in the tens of thousands. Starfleet Command is under heavy fire at this time.
We should probably ask that researcher what he knows.
Oh, thank God you're not Breen. This is a nightmare. I think they're heading to the vault. What's left of my research team grabbed phasers from a security station and decided to hold the line. Against Breen soldiers. Complete, utter insanity. Please, help them.
Thanks for the assist. Anything I can help you with?
The Federation fleet is advancing on the Breen positions, but casualties are high on both sides. Breen shock troops are beaming to locations on Earth, where ground combat is the heaviest. Lastly, we have unofficial reports that Starfleet Academy is preparing to be overrun.
Thanks for the help. The Breen thought Starfleet scientists couldn't fight. As you can see, they were greatly mistaken. Funny you should mention that. We have. One of my team picked up 2 Vorgon life signs in the vault on local sensors, just before the Breen came to call. I notified security, for all the good that did. Let me buzz you in. Main access is over here. Damn! This thing's a total loss. I can open up secondary access for you, but you should know, the Breen made it in there. Could be rough going.
Reports of a major strike led by the USS Cairo and the USS Enterprise are coming in. The Breen battle line appears to be breaking down, though heavy ground combat continues at several locations.
I've brought you this far, and you still won't join me?
No, Envoy. Your war with the Federation doesn't concern us.
Only the Tox Uthot matters. Nothing else. We are not alone in that pursuit, as you can see.
These must be the meddlers that you spoke of, Barotus. Kill them quickly.
We were so close.
Azure, no! No! Envoy, show yourself!
Having trouble, are we? You see now the depths our foes will go to, Barotus. Join me, and you'll have your revenge. I swear it.
Very well. I will follow your lead, Envoy. For vengeance.
Vengeance, indeed.
be fine. We need to focus. Find the Toxutot. I'm afraid that's need-to-know information. And right now, you don't need to know. I'm sorry, but there are things bigger than this to worry about.
Reports of a major strike led by the USS Cairo and the USS Enterprise are coming in. The Breen battle line appears to be breaking down, though heavy ground combat continues at several locations.
As I said before, that information is need to know only. You knowing it could have an impact on future events. I apologize. But for now, it's my secret to bear. What's important is stopping the envoy and his allies. We might not be so lucky next time. Do you have any questions? We're not sure. There's some data indicating a connection to a Black Ops unit in the Vorgon Defense Force. Other info suggests that they're independents, working for the highest bidder. Regardless, we need to stop them, no matter who's pulling their strings. Do you have any questions? We believe the Vorgons wish to sell it. The power to kill a star is incredibly valuable in certain circles. Do you have any questions? We have discovered that the Sphere Builders have been conducting operations in other universes. They aren't just looking to make changes in time, but in other dimensions as well. Their experiments in the parallel universe have produced results that will aid them in forming expanses here. We need to travel to that reality and stop the Sphere Builder research, while we still can. In 2387, an incident created a quantum rift between our universe and this one. A Romulan ship accidentally traveled here through a singularity. They found themselves in 2233 and later destroyed the USS Kelvin in battle. This caused their timeline to differ from ours. As a result, we now refer to it as the Kelvin timeline. We believe the Sphere Builders communicate with their operatives through the rift. Yes, in our timeline, they used the Xindi as a proxy force. I suspect they're doing the same thing here with the Klingons. I'm reading multiple spheres under construction in this sector, as well as the wreckage of spheres. I suspect the local forces are trying to prevent an expanse from being formed.
Starfleet Command, this is the USS Yorktown. We are under attack and require...
I do hope you've come to fight, Patok. If not, you may whimper and wait for my blade at your throat.
Reading multiple Klingon life signs on Yorktown's bridge. Enemy reinforcements inbound.
Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Unidentified vessel. This is the USS Yorktown. We are under attack by Klingon boarding parties. Can you provide assistance?
Enemy target comm sensors. Personal shield losing power.
Over here. Greetings. I am Science Officer 0718. Thank you for your very timely assistance. Could you see to Admiral Garrett's medical needs? I am currently interfacing with your crew and the Yorktown's engineering systems to prevent a critical breach of the warp core.
Thanks. I'm not sure which Starfleet you're in exactly, but I'm guessing you won't mind giving my crew a hand here. The Klingons really did a number on us.
Thank you. I thought we were finished. The Klingons weren't interested in taking prisoners.
Thanks. I hope you're here to deal with these spheres.
Thank you. Oh, my head's still spinning. That last Klingon photon hit sent me flying into the ops console. Head first. Thank you. I thought we were finished.
We could use some help putting out these fires! Come over here after you've put out the last fire. Over here! All right. We were about to begin sabotage operations on the sphere when the Klingons came to call. As you can see, Yorktown and her crew are in rough shape. But that thing needs to be neutralized. Can I count on you and your crew to help us finish the job? Glad to hear it. We've got explosives ready to go. But we'll need to find a proper infiltration point on the sphere. Work with my science officer to make that happen.
Use the starboard console. Together we can triangulate our scanners. Admiral Garrett, I believe we found a suitable location. I have reviewed your proposed infiltration coordinates. They are tactically sound. We can commence operations at your command. Be advised, in previous encounters on board spheres, the occupants have been quick to mobilize their defense forces. Expect heavy opposition.
I'll stay on the Yorktown to assist Admiral Garrett and his crew. We'll monitor your progress from the bridge and provide tactical updates as we can.
Commander! Kill those intruders!
To date, the most effective Starfleet tactic has been to trigger a critical series of detonations within their power suite. Such disruptions have resulted in destruction of a sphere.
Experiment 2674. Despite attempts to compensate for transdimensional drift, the protocol initiation led to universal instability and, ultimately, entropic acceleration. Galactic habitable spaces, 0. Life signs, minimal. Project terminated.
Receiving data. I had no idea the sphere builders were involved in so many alternate realities.
Enemy targets on center. Personal shield losing power. Enemy targets on sensors. Personal shield losing power.
You cannot stop our plans!
I was part of the team that devised the sphere neutralization tactics aboard USS Enterprise. After our initial success, I was deployed to the Yorktown to share my expertise on such matters.
Experiment 3331. The Expanse grew at an acceptable rate, until it was discovered by the Iconian Dominion Alliance. After intense resistance, we were able to decimate their core systems with targeted micro-expanses. But their desperation assault in subspace led to a complete entropic breakdown and, ultimately, universal disruption. Galactic habitable spaces? 0. Life signs? Indeterminate. Project terminated.
This data, they've exterminated entire galaxies with their experiments.
It seems your alliance with the Klingons has been profitable, builders.
It has. Like the Zindi, they are eager for conquest.
However, the technology you have provided destroys as well as creates.
The Resistance has been disruptive to our progress. Your promises appear thin, Envoy.
I assure you, all is going according to plan. Nothing they will do will keep us from our goals.
And yet, I see a familiar disruption has presented itself again.
A minor nuisance. I suggest letting your Klingons do what they do best.
I will deal with this disruption. It's time you learned that you cannot prevail, intruder. You will fall to ruin. I have had enough of you! The Tutarians were a peaceful race, until your misbegotten alliance committed an act of genocide. We were all but annihilated. Only a scant few of us escaped to safety, lost and forgotten within a dimensional void. The Envoy has given us the means to manipulate events. We had begun to undo the damage you have done to us. Quantum realms such as this are ours to study without risk to our own. And should this realm unravel, there is an infinite number of realms remaining to us. Yes, just as you were willing to do so to achieve your goals, do not presume to judge me, murderer! The Expanse Protocol will wipe you from existence, and with your passing, bring justice to my people at long last.
Something is happening. The sphere is emitting a high level of thermobaric radiation. We must complete our objective at once.
Enemy targets on sensors.
I have finished working on the sphere network. Prepare the final charge for detonation. Final charge deployed. We can return and initiate the detonation chain on your command.
Experiment 4472. Projections indicate increased habitable living area and expanse growth rate. Early estimates suggest a 500% increase. Local resistance, primarily from this realm's version of the Federation, has been crude but effective. Deploying Klingon proxy forces at key sphere deployments should alleviate this concern.
The latest data is local. It corresponds to this universe's quantum signature. Sphere builder ships, inbound.
We are being jammed. We're going to need to recalibrate. Transmissions. I will recalibrate our systems so we can send detonation signals to the charges. We're going to need to boost our signal to activate the explosives. Thermobaric gas is creating an unusual level of interference, attempting to boost our comm signal to compensate. Recalibration complete. I have established a link to the charges on the sphere, ready to activate on your command. Detonations complete. The sphere is neutralized.
Nice work over there.
It was rough for a moment, but you both... What the... I'll see you back on the ship, sir.
Most curious. I believe that wound occurred due to a temporal shift. Something has happened. elsewhere. A question for another time, perhaps.
In the end, you came through for us. On behalf of Starfleet and the Yorktown crew, thanks.
Indeed. Safe travels to you and your crew.
The Envoy's been busy since our last meeting. I think we can add the Sphere Builders to our list of known TLF associates and members after this encounter. The Builders are no strangers to temporal war. Their experience could tip the balance of power against us. Fortunately, their ability to operate in our dimension is extremely limited. For now. Some time ago, there was a temporal disruption involving the USS Enterprise C. We thought the matter was fully resolved, but there was an oversight. We need to find one of the Enterprise C survivors, a temporal duplicate of Starfleet Admiral Tenay. Until we reconcile her displacement, the timeline is in jeopardy. There's one person in particular that can provide the location of the survivors, Sela of Romulus. We believe she's operating in the Cytor system. Meet me there to search for Sela and enlist her aid. If she's here, we'll need to draw her out. Sela's not easily found if she doesn't want to be. In the meantime, there's a structure on one of the larger asteroids, but the mineral content there is making long-range scanning difficult. I recommend we take a closer look. Looks like a small base of some kind. Industrial, possibly military. Whatever it is, it's running at low power. We'll get a better idea at close range. Our intel shows a lot of Romulan activity in this system, in Sela's name. Command believes she's planning an assault of some kind and gathering tactical resources. This looks like an abandoned Tal Shiar base, or what's left of one. It looks like the interior has been stripped of anything useful over an extended period of time. This could be the work of Sela's forces. They've been... Wait! Picking up enemy contacts. Romulan ships decloaking.
Warning, ship is under attack. Warning, ship is under attack.
Romulans are going under cloak. They're disengaging. Those ships were older, but battle-ready and in good repair. It's unusual of them to run so quickly. We should stay sharp. There's probably more of them. As long as they keep leaking plasma, we can follow their trail. They're not trying to lose us. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Unidentified ship, you are trespassing in sovereign Romulan space, and you are outnumbered. Surrender now! Oh, it's you again. No. You are still trespassing in my space, and I could use a new ship for my armada.
Warning, ship is under attack. Four shields failing.
Fine, we'll talk. Cut to the chase and tell me what it is you want. Ah, I'd wondered when you'd get around to looking for the Enterprise C survivors. When the Enterprise C survivors were taken, my father agreed to let the rest of the crew live, so long as Lieutenant Yar served as his concubine. She was executed, but my father held to his word. I am aware of their location, but I will only take you there if you agree to bring me with you. And what assurances do I have that I won't simply be executed? I will not agree to my death. If I agree to this, I will be held in house arrest, somewhere reasonably pleasant by my own standards. I will not be cut off from access to the outside world, and I will not be given any sort of death penalty. Further, you will allow my crew and their ships to go without harassment. The survivors of the Enterprise C were sent to a Tal Shiar prison world. Set a course for the Pictet system. I shall make my way to the bridge of this quaint little ship.
I'm reading several Tholian ships on sensors, along with some unusual temporal fluctuations. Tholians dislike anything involving time travel. We should be cautious. If they think we're responsible, they may become hostile.
This is the Pictet system, one of many worlds where the Tal Shiar would send assets important enough to keep, but not threatening enough to kill. Supplies to this world stopped when Hobus was destroyed, but the Enterprise C crew are proven survivors. I admit the Tholians being here is new. Surely they won't be too difficult for you to handle.
Do not intrude. The anomaly will be eradicated. Leave now.
Target's shields have failed.
The Tholians were performing a detailed scan on that anomaly. Something caused it to destabilize quickly. Not a good sign.
The anomaly will be purged, as will you.
That anomaly is devastating our hull. Avoid flying into it if possible. Another temporal anomaly. It was emitting high levels of tachyon radiation and chronotons before it dispersed. I'll need more data, but I think it was an unstable gateway into transdimensional space.
Scan 1. I want to see what they were so interested in. My most sincere apologies. I am so used to command and to quick efficiency. I just thought perhaps it would be better if we continued with the mission before more Tholians show up. We can stand around and talk if you like.
Based on these readings, I believe I've found an origin point for these anomalies. They're coming from the planet below. I suggest sending an away team down to collect data. All clear. We should check out the planet while we can. I am detecting signs of habitation, but there's a lot of temporal disturbances down there. They're making it hard.
Assemble your most able crewmen and...
I am detecting signs of habitation, but there's a lot of temporal disturbances down there. They're making it hard to obtain a clear reading at this distance.
Assemble your most able crewmen and... My apologies. This is your ship. You give the orders.
We've beamed down into an open courtyard within what's left of the Tal Shiar prison. Doesn't look like it's been inhabited for some time. I'm reading a number of temporal anomalies nearby, but my tricorder's having trouble analyzing the data. We're going to need to get closer.
The shipments of supplies stopped long ago. Anyone alive down here will have a hard time. I suppose that's too bad for Admiral Tenay. That is what this is about, isn't it? There are two of her and no one else. If you find her, I doubt she will be alive. This world was abandoned by the Tal Shiar decades ago. I doubt there's anyone left. The survivors of the Enterprise C might have left personal items behind.
This datapad dates back to the late 23rd century. It lacks power, but it should work once it's recharged. This place hasn't been inhabited for a while. Thing is, the tricorder's giving a range of time from 3 months to 30 years. We're dealing with some serious temporal flux here. That's one of the temporal anomalies. I wouldn't recommend entering its area of effect. From what I'm reading here, contact with the anomaly will do considerable damage to anything organic. That being someone's been here recently. The tricorder's picking up numerous signs of habitation in the area. By the look of things, someone stripped this area of all useful items and moved on. This gate appears to have been locked from the outside. Perhaps they knew about the anomaly but didn't have the means to handle it. Ah, there's a manual override over there near our beam-down site. We can use it to open the gates. When we disrupted this anomaly, it seemed to fracture, forcing more anomalies into our timeline. I think we might be able to use that to our benefit, though. I'll stay here and act as an anchor. Find the best spot and use your tricorder to emit the dispersal pattern again. We should be able to push those bubbles away from the gate controls. If you get stuck, I'll be able to get you out of trouble. The gate controls are trapped within an anomaly. We'll have to disperse it to use them. Time is a tricky thing. Moving one anomaly will likely have a cascading effect on others. We might need to do this and pop multiple time bubbles in order to reach the gate controls. Looks like some of the closed gateways are rusted now. Find another spot. I think I can see a clear path to the controls. The gate's open. Try to disperse where you are. It should open an escape path for you. Excellent. The gate's open, and we can continue our search for Tanae. Well done. Before we move on, I've managed to bring the datapad online again. It might contain clues on what happened. Looks like it's a personal unit. The primary user is Lieutenant Tasha Yar of Starfleet.
Give me that! The first entry dates to 2389, nearly 40 years after she was executed. Or at least 40 years after she was supposed to have been executed. I am Natasha Yar, Security Chief for the Federation Starship Enterprise D. Well, at least that's who I was. For the past 40 years, I've been Tal Shiar Prisoner 24601. But even that changed a week ago. Our regular supply drops from the Star Empire stopped 3 months ago. The guards started caring too much about what might be going on elsewhere in the quadrant and caring too little about their prisoners. We were able to overpower them. We've managed to recover some data pads like this one, but there isn't enough here for us to call for help or escape. I'm leaving this record in case anyone comes looking for us. Sela, if you find this, I still love you. I've missed you. Lieutenant Yar was supposed to have been executed. My father said it happened. There were witnesses. How can... Clearly, there was some judicious alteration of history. The Enterprise C survivors were here, but something drove them away. Something more than the loss of supplies. We should continue looking for the survivors. Your duplicate of Tanae may yet be alive on this rock. It would not have been the first time. No doubt he thought she might still have been useful in some way. I can see the pity in your eyes. Keep it. His decision allowed me to become the person I am. I do not regret that.
Look! There's a path ahead! This anomaly looks more stable than the others. It's probably less deadly, but let's not find out now.
The generators died and no one knows why. Richard thinks it might have been the big predators. Tanae thinks she might be able to salvage some of the parts. I hope she can. She's been glaring over the remains for the last 3 hours. 2 more dead. We can't stay here. The animals know the fence won't harm them anymore. I rigged an early warning system using a trick I learned growing up on Turkana 4, but that won't stop them. We took a vote, and we're moving. We'll build a new settlement in the old secondary supply bunker the Tal Shiar abandoned 20 years ago. The surviving guard has agreed to guide us there. Loyalty to the Tal Shiar fades when you've been stranded with the inmates. Lieutenant Yar never discussed Turkana 4. When I was older, I discovered why. She was a survivor. It is clear that her arrangement with my father was just that. Obviously, she continued that trait into her existence here. There's more ground to cover.
There's another unstable anomaly. The anomaly has left some of the rock in a molten state.
You took readings in orbit. Surely we should continue looking. Clearly, these anomalies must be connected to your mission. Now, while you take a leisurely stroll through the jungle, I will be moving on. It appears that there are more survivors than initially believed.
There's a lot of interference, but I think I'm picking up a life sign. Tanae!
Go away! Leave this place! No! No! Please, not again! Stay away! Stay away!
It seems your duplicate, Tanae, is still alive, and she isn't pleased to see you. I don't really blame her. I wasn't exactly thrilled to see you again, either.
She's run off, but there's an even larger anomaly close by.
It looks like it was a structure at one point.
Another temporal anomaly, and this one is larger than the last.
Ruin like this.
Another temporal anomaly, and this one is larger than the last. There are temporal eddies moving through the area and a few stable locations between them. Now, if you establish temporal stabilizers in these 3 locations, we can disperse the anomaly and get a better look at the area. Hopefully, the Enterprise C survivors were able to escape the area before this happened. There's a stable pocket ahead of you. Set up the first stabilizer there. That's the first stabilizer. 2 more to go. Incredible! Dispersing the anomaly restored more than I expected. We should look for clues.
We found an entire grove of saplings. Richard swears the same area was full of towering trees last week. He might be mistaken. We're both getting older. I thought I saw a Romulan in the brush. He was wearing a 22nd century style uniform. When I looked again, he was gone. Maybe I'm going senile. Richard insists I'm too young. Maybe it's because the outside world has been on my mind. Sela has been on my mind. I wonder what happened to her. While her father was a Tal Shiar general, he spared my life in the end. Perhaps he wasn't petty and cruel to her. I hope he wasn't. If you should find this, happy 50th birthday, Sela. I have missed you. I only regret we were separated. Shelter ruined, last tricorder gone, half our stores destroyed, 5 dead. The hunters and gatherers returned to find many dead and unconscious. I used my emergency medic training, but I was a security officer, not a doctor. Devek might not make it. None of them can remember what happened. Without the tricorder, we can't scan the area, or for internal injuries. I suspect that there is something on the planet causing anomalies of some kind. Tanae has not reacted well. She's been talking to herself and keeping apart from everyone. A problem for later. Survival now.
Some sort of temporal inversion happened here. Some of the rock returned to an earlier molten state, while some of the building materials aged over 200 years. Anyone standing close to these objects would have been affected as well, regressed to infancy or aged to the grave.
Well, I suppose it was nice that Yar thought of me, but that doesn't change the fact that she was going to steal me away like a thief in the night. If she had truly cared, she would have stayed where she was. My father was not cruel or petty, at least not to me. He was hard because he needed to be. I thrived because of it. The Enterprise C survivors were surprisingly resilient. Tasha's notes are more sparse but seem to record a productive, if primitive, community. They mention a secondary site close by. If your Vulcan survived, there may be others, and they may be close.
Over here! There's a path with recent footprints. I'm reading another anomaly, further down the path. Tanae might be there.
The Tanae anomaly and its allies must be purged.
That Tholian away team must have beamed down to investigate the anomalies. This looks to be a well-worn path. Some recent footprints here, heading the other way. They might have run into Tholians.
It seems your Vulcan passed this way recently. Perhaps the cavern mentioned in Tasha's logs is nearby. We should follow the tracks. It seems many of the refugees would be alive if it weren't for the anomalies. I wonder how many are left now.
I'm detecting signs of recent habitation in this location.
Maybe we'll find more answers.
This was some sort of dwelling up until a few months ago. If I'm reading this right, there was an explosion of tetrion particles here. A fatal one, judging by the organic residue on the walls. No one's been living here since, according to these tricorder readings.
The anomalies are temporal in origin. I watched Richard wither and die before my eyes. An anomaly appeared, and moments later, he aged 100 years. We buried him this morning in the clearing. I never expected he and I would end this way. I miss him. Richard was a wonderful partner for these last decades, a good man. We built a wonderful life, despite it all. My only regret is that Sela never got to know how kind and brave Richard was. He'd have been such a wonderful stepfather. Tanae hasn't been seen in days. I'm worried she won't come back. I'm worried she will. I thought her strange behavior might be a degenerative Vulcan sickness, but she was answering questions before they were asked, and she's been close to every anomaly that's happened. Maybe I'm jumping at shadows. The part of me that is still a security officer on the Enterprise doesn't think I am, though.
This is Tanae. I have agreed to report the final words of Natasha Yar, and to hold this log for the future. If there is one. If it isn't here already, What? No. Focus. Focus. Natasha Yar died of a fever. She wished for the story of the crew of the Enterprise C to be remembered. They were brave beyond expectation. She wished for her daughter to know that she was loved and that Natasha lived a long and happy life. But Natasha missed her, and she hoped her daughter's life was wonderful. Natasha requests that if this log is found, that this record be conveyed to Sela of Romulus and to the Federation. Do not come near me. End log.
I think I see movement in the bushes. Tanae?
Stop following me!
Enemy targets on sensors.
No, go away! I told you to stay away! I am dangerous. You should not be here. No one can be here. No! Not again! No! Not again!
There's a new anomaly forming.
Tholians!
Purge the anomaly. Purge the contaminated.
Tanae, the anomalies that have been occurring were caused by decades of temporal interference. Because of what happened with the Enterprise C, you exist in two places at once. We can fix this. You and your counterpart can be reintegrated. Your memories will be integrated as well, but the anomalies will stop.
I see the logic in your presence here. I am anomalous. My presence here must be sufficiently reconciled to preserve the order of things. I presume you are here to accomplish this. Thus, I will go with you.
All this time, she was here. I believed she was dead. Tasha believed I might come looking for her. She believed it so strongly she left logs in case. Danae held her logs for her. And now, she is truly dead. This place has led to some interesting revelations, shall we say? I think it best we leave before more Tholians show up.
Looks like we beamed up just in time. Several Tholian ships are on an attack vector.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target shield has failed. Warning, ship is under attack.
Something is happening. It's happening again. Another anomaly is forming.
We won't do what he will not. We will repair time.
I see you found my displaced temporal counterpart. Well done. An operations team is standing by on this vessel to assist with her temporal reintegration. Please beam her aboard, and we will begin the process. It is possible that I may acquire a new set of memories as part of the process. A small price to pay to stabilize the timeline. As it has been said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. I see. Having read the briefing from Starfleet Command, I find her presence here to be most logical, considering the situation. Very well. I will take custody of Sela and deliver her to a secure facility once the reintegration procedure is complete. Beam her aboard with my temporal counterpart.
It seems our journey is at a parting of the ways once more. I did, and I will. But I have a condition to my surrender. Tell me about my mother.
The timeline is stabilizing. Anomaly counts are dropping, and our agents are reporting a decline in temporal aftershocks due to recent events. That's a good thing, by the way. The aftershocks of our recent discoveries on Pictet may take some time for Sela to resolve, however. I hope she's able to find a sense of peace and closure from what she's learned today. I'll be heading back to Temporal Command once we've fully integrated the two Tenays. Be seeing you.